This morning I'll take a look at Amazon. I follow Amazon a lot and I use it as an indicator for some other positions. I don't trade it a lot just because the options are so expensive and there's a pretty good bid-ask spread on the options. However, every once in a while I will place a butterfly or something like that trying to get a pin at a certain price level. I want to look at it today. I've got the moving average chart here up for you. You can see we're still below the 200 simple moving. This white line is the 50. And we're getting a lot of price action, through the 50. It's really not providing a lot of support. The EMAs, the 10, 20, 30, are all starting to turn up a little bit. It's hard to see. Got a couple of weekly trend lines here coming into play. This one really did not provide that much support. You could argue that there was a fight around this level. This trend line here was actually formed with these candles, so we've still got to wait to see how that gets tested in the future. Of course, you know that when I use trend lines, I require 3 touches. So this would have been the 3rd touch. So you could make the argument that it already had the 2 touches and this was the test. However, this candle was probably one of the weekly touches right here. It's probably this one, and then through here, these hit on it. So actually, I guess we had about 4 touches now that I look at it. So this should provide pretty good support. Again, this one, not sure about. This one's providing for some support. I think there could be some resistance here, and certainly resistance at this level if it moves back up. One thing you can see pretty clearly is we've got a channel kind of forming right through here, and then probably right in this level. This is the trading channel that we're looking at with Amazon. And as we look at this, you could certainly make the argument that as we hit the top of the channel, you want to sell back down to the middle of the channel or down to this level, and vice versa as it comes back up. I do see you had an uptrend up back through here. You had a lot of choppy through here, but it was still kind of an uptrend. You had a lower low in here, but you had a higher high. Then you had a higher high here, and then we came down to some drop, some consolidation, and then we right here we hit a low. And then we had a higher low, higher low, higher low. Had a higher high, higher high, higher high. Which all of that would indicate that we're moving more into an uptrend now. Now bounce off of this into an uptrend. Let's take a look at the next chart. This is my wave chart. And you can see we're still right around the wave. You can also get an idea of where that channel was I drew on the other chart. And one thing to notice I think is very interesting is these channel lines are very close to these Keltner lines that I use. So a lot of times when your stock is trading sideways, you'll see me use these Keltner lines as almost a channel. Now, of course, the wave's got to be sideways like this for you to do that. But you would sell off the top of it, buy off the bottom of it, and you can see that this channel is doing that too. One thing this chart does tell me is, again, we're trading sideways. Now, yes, that's obvious when you look at the channel lines, but this just draws into a little bit clearer perspective for you that we're not 100% sure at this point whether we're going to break to the upside. I think we will as I look at the price action. Of course, different tweets and different things going in the economy could change that because the stock market is being very influenced by outside events that aren't necessarily in the fundamentals of the market. It's just hope and greed, I guess I would call it. But you can see here, we've still got this trend line here, the one I'm not that sure about. This one's I think a good trend line. This is probably a good trend line. This is a good trend line here to watch. Right in the middle of this area, if you ignore this one, or right in the middle of this area, I think the move is still going to be up. I would probably wait for a pullback before I went long, and when I get up in this level, I would probably look for a short. Let's take a look at our Bollinger Bands. Our Bollinger Bands really tell you just how, at a glance, just how consolidated this is. Look how close these bands are together as opposed to back in here. It really showing this channel for you. And furthermore, what you're seeing here is the consolidation down here on the TTM squeeze indicator. I mean, there is nothing going on. Amazon is just bouncing around. It hasn't picked a direction. If you could get a good fill on it, this would actually be a good place to sell an iron condor. If you probably, I'm not sure what you would get because I haven't checked implied volatility, so I'm not sure what but my guess is there's not a lot of implied volatility, which is bad for selling an iron condor. but you still might be able to get into it at a decent price. I don't sell iron condors on Amazon because of the bid-ask spread on the auctions. But if you could get a good bid-ask spread, could get a good return on it, it might be something you wanted to look at. Another thing, if you're looking at a lower cost type trade, would be perhaps doing a put call spread right through here, expecting this move back toward the upside over the next week or so. In fact, if you want, we'll price that out. That would probably be I said a put call spread. I meant a put calendar spread. That would probably be one of the cheapest trades you could place in Amazon. If I were looking to get long or short, I would wait for it to either pull back into this level to go long, or I'd wait for it to get right into here before I start looking for a short. And that could be a short could be a put, it could be a debit put spread. You could even sell a call spread probably up here, or a put spread down in here by itself if you could get good feels on it. And I'm a little concerned you can't, and also I'm a little concerned the implied volatility is going to be so low as you look at these Bollinger Bands that there's really not a lot of money in it. But just for just to look at it and for educational purposes, we'll look at a call calendar spread and see what that would look like. And again, I'm going to target probably this 1820 level. And if I probably have a stop loss, probably I put it around 1760 or so, somewhere in this level, below this mean line. But let's take a look at it. We would want to, not too many here, 1820. Amazon has a lot of calls out there. So we're going to target the 1820 level. We want to buy a calendar right here. And we would short next week's, and I would want to buy one. Let's look at it on the 24th. See, that's $2,000. That's a lot. I probably would not be wanting to do that. Let's take it, see what it would look like just a week out. Alright, a week out would be $520. So you could risk $520 on a call calendar spread. And what you would be looking at, let's go back to the chart, is you want it to stay, actually you need it to move up. You need it to move up somewhere between, say, 1800 and probably about 1830. That's your bet. You need it in this area when it expires in order for this trade to work. If it moves down, if it moves down slightly, you might be able to get out of it at break even or a slight loss. Then your stop loss will be right through here somewhere, maybe 1765, maybe 1770, and then you just close the trade for whatever was out there on your loss. It wouldn't be the full loss. The only danger you have is if it went up to, say, 1860, 1840, even though you're right on the direction, a calendar could still lose money. That's just the nature of the calendar. The front month is going to have more value in it than the following month when it comes to intrinsic value. If you really want to get into a trade, that would be the only one I can really see right here that I'd be interested in. I'm not going to place that trade, but it might be something that you want to look at if you're interested. You could do a call put spread, a call calendar spread. If you have the interest in doing that, you do have the holidays coming up to give you some free time decay, and I expect Amazon to move up at least until Christmas. After Christmas, it may start to drop off as people start to take profits. But please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.